Texting and driving is very dangerous. And what we want you to do is please don't text and drive.
And that is the word from our friends at AT&T. You know, so many different things, different laws, different state rules. Everybody's really bringing a lot of attention to the importance of not texting and driving. And Diane Gottsman is our etiquette expert, and she's joining us this morning. And this is interesting because what we had originally set out to do was to do a story about texting manners, really.
Right.
But when you started investigating and you started talking to people, you were like, you know what? This is not something that we should make fun of. This is a huge issue, and there are some rules, and we need to take this into consideration and talk about it seriously today.
That's right, and that's why we enlisted Chris Penrose, and he is the Vice President and General Manager of AT&T South Texas, and he is very strict, even with his own employees, and they're texting and driving.
And the thing is that there's no clear rule. I know in California, where my parents come from, there's no talking on the phone, there's no texting on the phone. In Texas, we don't have those kinds of rules.
Yeah, and this is crazy. I just pulled this up. It says in Texas, it's illegal to text with a passenger under the age of 17, and when you are in your first 12 months of driving. What is that? I mean, that's not even a rule. That should just be common sense. So we have to do something, starting with our own family. So we should talk to our kids, and our kids need to hold us accountable as well, because, you know, it's very tempting. I don't text, but, you know, I'm on my cell phone, and that's just as dangerous when you're trying to find a number.
It's the same thing.
Yes.
Exactly. Anything that takes your eyes off the road is really distracting and ends up causing problems. So you headed out and talked to a bunch of people and asked questions about texting and driving, and we've got a lot of different answers too. So the first question is, what is being done to address the texting and driving situation? And here's the answer from AT&T.
We launched a big campaign last September, and the message is very simple. Please don't text and drive. And what we're trying to do to get that message out is a number of fronts. One, in every new phone box that you get when you buy a phone from AT&T, it has on the phone, please don't text and drive. That's just the beginning. We're also doing public service announcements. We're doing online campaigns. We're doing bill messages to our customers. We're really focused on getting the words out to our customers, to the general public about how dangerous it is, and you need to be safe while you're driving.
So I just got a new BlackBerry, and you're right, when it came in the mail, it had a big sticker on it that said, don't text and drive.
I was kind of excited. I thought that stayed there, but he says, no, you peel it off. I kind of like it on. Give it to my children. Yeah.
Okay. Another question. Which age group causes the most concern over texting? And we go back to AT&T for the answer to that question.
We're most concerned with those teenagers that are doing it all the time, get behind the wheel, and they're so used to responding right away. We need them to not do that. We need them to keep their eyes on the road and focus. But obviously, everyone out there that is texting, if you take your eyes off the road, you're putting yourself in danger.
Yeah, I kind of hope that by the time, because we have daughters that are the same age, by the time they're driving, that there will be something else that doesn't involve taking your eyes off the road, just
and
like surround sound.
You know there will be. You know, and I hope it hurries.
Okay, here's another question. What's some personal advice to viewers from the AT&T folks? Diane checked in with them for another answer on that.
I don't have kids driving yet, but I do have teenagers, and I'm already talking to them about the dangers. If you see the kids these days, they're walking around looking down more than actually putting the phone up next to their ear, and they expect an instant response. What I tell them is when you're on the road, you're not only responsible for yourself, but you're also responsible for everyone else out there. So you have to be extra careful, and its bottom line is it's not allowed. You cannot text and drive.
And that's something that we all have to start explaining to our kids.
That's
because
right.
Think back to when you learned to drive. I mean, what was the distraction? The radio.
The radio dial.
You know?
That was the big distraction. And it's true, you know, we can tell them, but then we really need to hold them accountable. If we do see them, we need to say, okay, you know, give them some options. First time, you're on restrictions. Second time, we take the car. You know, something. And by the way, they need to do that test too. They can't take the car from us, but we really
Mine would try, I'm sure.
We need to be the example for them. And our employees at the office. So, you know, we can go to our office and say, listen, as a group, let's not text and drive. Let's be more cautious and considerate of other drivers.
Another interesting thing you brought up with our friends from AT&T is talking about a family policy. And here's an answer from the guys over there. Take a look.
Myself, as well as other people that I love, if they're behind the wheel, they're not texting.
So that is her family policy,
Yeah.
which really should be everybody's family policy. But like you said, you've got to sit down and really discuss that with your kids.
That's right.
Okay.
So important.
It is important, and it's also hard because it's something that none of us have dealt with. You know, I didn't even have a phone when I was a kid, so, and I'm fairly young, so it's something new that we're dealing with when our kids get behind the wheel. Now, you also put together some other tips regarding texting, and these are just simple texting tips, things that you shouldn't do really on any occasion. Of course, you shouldn't text behind the wheel, but other things that we need to know about texting.
And these are more social. You know, texting and driving is a hazard, but you know, from the social standpoint, you don't want to go out on a date and be texting while you're out on a date. You don't, or on your cell phone while you're on a date. You don't want to go to a wedding or a funeral, worse, or any kind of service and use that cell phone. You want to use it with good judgment.
My daughter was sick. She is sick. She's home. And yesterday we were there. She just got a cell phone for the first time. She's 10 years old. And I was sitting in the kitchen doing something, and my phone rings, and it's Taylor on the phone calling from her bedroom. Mommy! Ah.
Okay.
I mean, that's how dependent we've become on these, and we've got to put a stop.
Jonathan, sick, doing the same thing. My cell phone buzzes in my pocket yesterday, and he says, "I'm hungry." Well,
oh my gosh,
they're
it is
sick.
awful.
They're sick and they're home. They're not behind the wheel of a car.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. And thank you so much for going out and bringing, you know, awareness to this situation.
My pleasure.
All right, guys, if you need some more information, certainly check with your cell phone provider. If you would like to talk to Diane Gottsman, she is with the Protocol School of Texas. She goes out all over really the country and delivers speeches regarding etiquette and how we should act in public. Go to psotx.com or give her a call at 826-7400.